Hey, welcome to Monday School. My name's Corey.
And I'm Beth.
Hey, we've got another week of Monday School here. Pape is still out, which is fine because we've got an awesome co-host here with Beth. She has a lot of awesome things to say. I'm very excited for this lesson.
We're gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, we are. We are. But hey, we still got to have some sponsors.
Absolutely.
Okay, I'll go first.
You go first.
And then we'll go back and forth.
Okay, sounds good.
So my first sponsor is our Quick Notes calendar book. This is the official calendar of the OCC Youth Ministry Department. Really, I just wanted to use this because I like all the stickers on it.
I like this guy in the back, the hide and seek thing.
that's probably my favorite one.
I like that. That's
so
solid.
That's our first sponsor. Who you got?
Okay, so I have something that's very near and dear to my heart. Puts the food on our table. The Orville Veterinary Clinic. There's Dr. Jeff with Petey the Wonder Dog and Mickey the famous cat. And Dr. Jeff would encourage you to help control the pet population and have your pets spayed or neutered, please.
Which could also go really good into this lesson. Okay, you'll find why that's so funny later. Next sponsor we've got is Sure House Coffee. This is Light Roast, Papua New Guinea. They are an awesome company. They've put scripture on the back of all of their brands.
That.
They're a Christian company based out of Worcester.
That's cool.
So
That's
they've
awesome.
got a Sure House here in Orville and also in Worcester. I need to see if they'll just give me some free coffee if I plug them every week.
I know.
But,
this is like free publicity.
I know, all 7 people that watch this. Okay. Your next sponsor.
Next! All right, so next is from, I hail from Dalton, so, it's very popular in our neck of the woods. This is the Dalton Dairyette.
Oh, I love the Dairyette.
Don't we all love the Dairyette?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, the opening day, it's like a national holiday in Dalton. I'm not even kidding. And closing day, like the lines are wrapped around the building. And I actually got something for you, Corey.
For me?
For you, yeah.
Ooh.
And I think, so this is our favorite treat from the Dairyette is a peanut butter sundae.
Oh my goodness.
Are you allergic to peanut butter?
I'm not.
Okay, good. Like the kids last night were like, is he allergic? Now it is still frozen solid because the Dairyette wasn't open yet, but so I got it last night. So when the spoon you can get it out, like you are welcome to enjoy that.
Wow, I am having you back to co-host every week now. That's awesome. Hey, my third sponsor is actually Casey's Challenge. This is a 5K that I absolutely love. I don't love running, but I love participating in.
That you're willing to vomit for.
That I'm willing to vomit for. Actually, I ran my first 5 miles the other day.
5 miles?
5 miles.
You are coming along,
Yeah.
man.
So Casey's Challenge, that goes right along with our student ministry 5K. You can run that 5K August 8th through the 15th. And all you got to do, if
Or you can walk it.
Or you can walk it. Or there's also a 1 mile
Skip.
fun run. Skip,
Jump
frolic.
rope.
Yeah. Army crawl.
Oh, what crab walk?
Crab. Ooh, if somebody does a crab walk for a 5K, I'm buying this in Dairyette.
Oh, man.
But just download the Nike Run app. Also register for the race if you want to. It'd be awesome if you did. And then just send Pape and I screenshots of your run time. And top 3 for the high school and top 3 for the middle school are going to get some medals.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
We must have been thinking along the same line because my last sponsor today is the Star Wars franchise.
Ooh.
Because I've been thinking about everything that's changing right here. Like, we just put out the plan for school, the schools did, and now everything's changing again. So are we going? Are we not going? Masks, no masks, sports, who knows what's going. So the theme of this school year is going to be, may the force be with you.
And to make sure to give people their space. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Hey, sponsors are a lot of fun. Let's keep having some fun. Today, we have the joy to talk about the Song of Solomon, right? This is one of I think, the most talked books, especially in youth ministry, for sure. But what we're going to do is we are going to play a game called Love Song or Song of Solomon. Okay? So the way that this is going to work is there is going to be a lyric on the screen, and you have to decide if it's from a contemporary song or if it's from the Song of Solomon.
All right.
Okay? So we can go back and forth. I can promise you I'm going to...
Have you looked at these first?
I've not.
Okay.
You
So you're not cheating.
You can trust me.
It's in your eye.
Yeah, it's...
No allergy season.
yeah. All right, let's go ahead and go here. We did that one in practice. Let's go to the next one.
Practice, huh?
Practice. Talking about practice. All right. You will always be love's great martyr, and I will be the flattered fool.
It's totally a song, dude.
Totally a song?
Totally a song.
Totally a song. Okay. Beth thinks it's a song. I'm gonna agree with her. I think it's gonna be a song. Let's see what we've got.
Yes.
God Gave Me You by Blake Shelton.
Oh, see, Pape would have been all over that.
He would have been singing it.
He would have been singing it.
All right, let's go to the next one. And it is, Then I Kiss Your Eyes and Thank God We're Together. Song or Song of Solomon?
I still think that's a song.
I think I'm going to agree with you.
Yeah.
Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith.
See, I don't remember that lyric in the song, though. But it's been a while. It's kind of...
That's kind of a weird Kiss Your Eyes. Does he have bad aim? All right, let's go to the next one. I will think of you every step of the way. I feel like that's probably a Song of Solomon.
I don't think so. I still think it's a song.
You think it's a song?
I still think it's a song.
All right, let's see. Oh, man.
Oh, and I... Sorry.
Whitney Houston.
Will always love you.
Why did we even look for a new worship minister?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Seriously.
Sorry, Jonathan. Love having you on staff, but you've got some
I can't
competition.
believe I just did that.
That's staying in. This will be the last one coming up. You Are Altogether Beautiful.
Song of Solomon.
Song of Solomon. Song of Solomon. Man, you were 100% on those. I'm just glad I didn't miss.
Love is like my... Oh, no, you don't. don't.
Okay, so we are going to be moving on. I want to dig into the lesson a little bit. We're going to change paths. That was a lot of fun. But we're going to dig in. Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verse 7. It says, Daughters of Jerusalem, I charge you by the gazelles and by the does of the field, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. The crazy thing about this is it is verbatim said 2 other times in Song of Solomon. So we learned on Sunday from Mulpus, anything that is repeated, you've got to pay attention to.
Gotta pay attention.
So we need to pay attention to this. And we're going to be talking about this throughout the lesson. But the Old Testament book, Song of Solomon, tells us about the awesome blessings of love between a man and a woman. Besides our relationship with Christ, the greatest relationship we can ever experience is a marriage covenant, right? And in this language, Solomon praises and celebrates the unique love that a man and a woman, a husband and a wife, show one another. And the expression of love in marriage is part of God's plan for his people, right? And it symbolizes Christ's relationship with the church, how it's a covenant. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing. But I've got to be honest, Beth. You've got a little bit more marriage experience than I do. So I'm going to turn it over to you for a little bit for our first point.
Yeah, thanks, Corey. Yeah, Jeff and I, we will actually celebrate our 21st wedding anniversary come September.
Wow.
So, which is crazy to me because in my mind, I'm forever 21.
Yeah.
Isn't that like
That's a store.
Yeah.
Hey, that's our next sponsor, Forever.
Ah, yeah, see? I think I should get free stuff from them, too. But let me ask you this, okay? Because we're around young people a lot of the time, and people are always getting lots of different messages. Like, how do you think our culture defines what true love is?
Have you seen Princess Bride?
Oh, it's classic.
The true love. I think people keep using that word, but don't really know what it means.
True
Love was what brings us together. That's a great question. I think our culture defines true love very wrong. I know in the student ministry, most of the time, true love is a 3-week fling where people are able to post on Instagram that they're together, #5ever, and they wear their hoodies and their jerseys to
Don't forget the
sporting
scrunchie.
events. Oh, and the scrunchies.
If you get the scrunchie, that's definitely true love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if the boy wears the scrunchie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's proclaiming that true love.
Yep, it's kind of like a. Never mind. So, and I think even in adults, a lot of people say they're in true love, but that's not true. A lot of love that I see is very self-serving. They don't want to be alone. They want to feel accomplished for having somebody with them. I mean, even in the church, most of the language that we talk about from the pulpit is about how to be pure and righteous in your relationship, and it kind of has a down view on singleness, I
That's
think.
true.
I think true love is wrong in our culture's eyes a lot, but what I think true love actually is one, it's sacrificial. It puts the other person first. But two, our true love comes from God. And if you don't have a relationship with God, you can never have that true love because we're supposed to be modeled after our Creator, and we can't represent His love in our lives if we don't have that relationship.
Yeah, right on, man. Well, I was kind of thinking a little bit about true love these last few days. And at our house, like, especially the girls in my house, they are major Disney fans.
Awesome.
Love some Disney. Jenna, I'm telling you, she could win, go head to head with anybody in a Disney trivia competition. But throughout the Disney movies, you know, there's this theme of like true love's kiss. It still froze it. The Sword and the Stone. It's like the. Speaking of Disney, anyway, but this kiss is like the ultimate manifestation of true love. That, you know, it'll wake the sleeping beauty, or Ariel's going to get her voice back if she can just fall in love and get true love's kiss. And I'm not saying, like, I certainly don't think that, like, Disney is gospel by any stretch of the imagination. But there was one movie recently where I think they finally got it right. Now, I know you're a guy, okay, so maybe this isn't your, like, thing, but have you seen the Frozen movies?
Yeah, actually, I love Frozen. Number 1 and number 2. Shout out to the Frozen franchise. Actually,
Wow.
Jesse Walker, our connections minister, he said he cried in both of them.
I'm sorry.
Shout out to Jesse. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, he must have the gift of mercy or something.
We'll see.
Yeah. But, okay, so, like, go back to Frozen. You know, Anna. Gosh,
Anna.
see, I'm terrible. Jenna would have
Jenna.
hit me upside the head. Anna, you know, she gets her heart frozen, and she's only got so much time. She's got the stripe in her hair. Her whole head's about to turn white because her heart's about to freeze her to death. And it's only an act of true love that will unfreeze her heart, okay? And the whole time you're thinking, oh, this guy that she's hanging out with, like, they're going to fall in love and he's going to kiss her and that's going to save her. Turns out that's not it. You know, and it's that her sister's about to be killed. And the act of true love is that she steps in and offers herself as a sacrifice to take the blow of the sword.
Spoiler.
Sorry about that. If you haven't seen it, my apologies.
You don't have to now.
I know. So anyway, it's this act of true love turns out to be that she's sacrificing herself. She's making the ultimate sacrifice. And I think about what Scripture has to say. And in the book of John, okay, chapter 15, verse 13, this is what it has to say. Greater love has no one than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. Okay? And so here God is telling, this is the ultimate form of love. Okay? It's this form of sacrifice. And to go further on with this, okay, I'm just going to say, I love the book of 1 John. Okay? 1 John is all about love. Like, and I'm telling you, If you want to know love, study 1 John.
Absolutely. And it's a short book,
It
too.
is a short book.
Molpus challenged us to read chapter a day, read a book. I mean, it's got, what, 5 chapters in
5
it?
chapters.
Let's read that this next week.
I think that's a fantastic idea. I think my family, we're headed on vacation, so I'm thinking, like, maybe we'll just do a chapter of 1 John every day.
That'd be awesome. I'll do it too.
I love it. But in chapter 4, verses 7 through 9, okay, he's telling us this is what love is, okay? And this is what it has to say. Dear friends, let us love one another, for love comes from God, okay? Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. Okay, so like we could unpack that for a long time, but God is love. This is how God showed his love among us. He sent his one and only Son into the world that we might live through him. Okay? And so when I think about the ultimate sacrifice, like God gave up everything that was dear to him to rescue us, to save us. Okay, so I think that true love is sacrificing and putting the other person's needs above your own.
Absolutely.
And God, showed us this example right here. And so when I think about true love, I think, that's not something that can be forced, okay? Like, even back to my Disney line of thinking here, like, remember in Aladdin, like when there's the genie and he's like, I can't bring people back from the dead, and, and then he's like, and I can't make anybody fall in love. Like, you can't force love.
Right.
And if we go back to that scripture that you were talking about from Song of Solomon there, it says, do not arouse or awaken love until it so desires. And I'm thinking about, like, what does that mean for me? And what does that mean for you guys? You guys are students. You're kind of in the midst of this right now. And I think it's going to mean different things at different stages of your life.
Absolutely.
Okay? Like, right now, like, I'm spending a lot of time with 5th and 6th and graders and up from there a little bit. And, I'm thinking, don't awaken love until it's ready, okay? And I know a lot of, like, 10 and 11-year-olds, you're kind of maybe starting to think about some of these things. Maybe some of you have been thinking about these for a long time. But Corey, I got a question for you. Okay? Tell me about the last wedding that you went to for an 11-year-old. What was that like?
Not been to one.
You haven't?
Mm-mm.
Oh.
I've been to a lot of weddings where there's a lot of 11-year-olds that want to get married.
Or people that act like
11-year-olds.
Well, no. They act like they're like 3.
Yeah.
But, like, let's be honest. When you're 10, 11, 12, 13, you're not getting married. You're not even allowed to get married, okay? And so, maybe now is not the time to constantly be thinking about and pouring all of your energy into a relationship. But the mistake I see a lot of young people make is that, like, you're constantly listening to maybe music that just focuses on relationships and heartbreak, and, maybe you follow celebrities online and watch their relationships, because those are really healthy, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yep.
absolutely. Or maybe you're watching movies that, like, that's the focus of it. And what it does is, what we dwell on and think about is what affects our hearts. And so if you're constantly thinking about a romantic relationship when you're not really ready for it, it can damage who you are right now. I would just encourage you, like, if you're 11, 12, 13, 14, any of us really, but, like, now's the time to be working on yourself, like working on the qualities that you would want in a marriage partner someday. And that might include, like, following your own passions and interests. I'm going to tell you right now, and this is going out to my ladies especially, like, you will be such a better partner and spouse if you have something interesting of your own to offer to the relationship. Okay? So develop your own interests, hobbies, qualities. And like we were talking earlier, Corey, like, now's the time to learn to be the kind of spouse that you will someday want.
Yeah, absolutely. You gave the charge to the 11, 12, 13, 14, whatever. I'll be honest, like, in my household, I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16, right? And you know how it is. You always have, like, this, well, we're not dating, but we're talking, right? But, man, I look back, and the high school relationships I had, they weren't healthy. I wasn't ready for them. Even some of the relationships I had in college, I thought I had it figured out. I thought, I'm finally ready for this. And I wasn't. And right now is the first time in my life that I can fully say, okay, I'm ready for a serious committed relationship. I'm ready for preparing myself for marriage, because that's what dating is supposed to be. It's not supposed to be just something fun you do during the summer so you're not alone. It's not supposed to be, something that makes you popular or something that gets you into a different friend group. The reason why you date is to find a mate to spend the rest of your life with. And in high school, I certainly was not ready for that responsibility. Thought I was. I always said I was more mature than everyone else, which I was, but I still wasn't ready. So I would give the charge to anyone. If you're listening, if you're watching, slow your roll. Take your time. Don't focus on finding the right person. Focus on being the right person. Work on yourself. Work on your relationship with the Lord. Because if you don't know God, you're not going to know love. And somebody's going to come and sell you on something that they call love, which is just lust.
Yeah. And on that note, I do want to bring up a little something here. So I got these flowers today.
Beautiful.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were really pretty.
I do not have a green thumb at all. I kill succulents.
I love plants. I'm kind of a plant nut. I'm a plant nerd. And one of the things that's interesting about plants is if you take care of them at the right time, they will bloom. Okay? And one of my favorite things to do is actually, I like to walk around the yard and just see what's blooming at different times. But you can see, this is really pretty when it blooms. It smells good. It looks pretty. Okay? And I think a little bit about, some of my older friends that are watching today. And, maybe you're in a relationship, and just we were kind of joking about true love's kiss. There's something to that. When you like somebody, you want to kiss them, Yeah,
kiss their eyes, like Aerosmith.
Oh, yeah, you might just miss. But, so there is a physical expression to love. That's a part of what God created. But one of the things that I really want to encourage you is, in the scripture there, it says, do not arouse or awaken love till it so desires. There's a time to awaken these things, just like it's a time for this to bloom. I'm looking at this is a bud, okay? And in time, given the right time and conditions, it will open up and it will bloom and it will be beautiful just like this.
Absolutely.
But Corey, if I were to look at this and be like, you know what? I don't know, I'm getting impatient. I love this flower so much. I just want to see it. I want to see what it's like. And I start kind of peeling away at it. And I can't wait. I got to see this flower now. I kind of just killed it, didn't I?
Yeah. It's lost its worth.
Yeah, I look at it and it looks broken and it looks kind of dead to me. And I think about in our physical relationships with one another, God had a design and a plan. And when we're patient and we wait for things to bloom at the right time, when we're married, it's a beautiful thing. But I've also had the opportunity now, I've been working with young people for a long time, and sadly I've seen a lot of young people end up with a lot of brokenness and hurt.
And regret.
And regret, yeah, because they awakened something that wasn't ready to be awakened yet.
Absolutely. Man, that takes us kind of to the next point. I think, some of the reasons why we awaken it too early is because we're afraid to lose the person.
Absolutely.
I know in one of my high school relationships, actually when I was a senior in high school, going away to college, I had a girlfriend that said, look, we're going to make the relationship physical before you leave college or we're done. She was trying to bud the flower before it was ready. And I said, well, I hate to hear that, but have a great life. See you later.
Good for you.
But here's the thing, is when you find the true love, you can be patient because love never ends, right? It's not going to be thwarted by, you going a couple hours away or whatever it may be. I want to read Song of Solomon chapter 8, verses 6 through 7. This is an awesome couple of verses. It says, place me like a seal over your heart, like a seal on your arm. And I'm not talking about like the animal seal. For love is as strong as death. That's powerful.
It is
that,
powerful.
That phrase. It continues, it says, its jealousy is unyielding as the grave. It burns like blazing fire, like a mighty flame. Many waters cannot quench love. Rivers cannot sweep it away. If one were to give all the wealth of one's house for love, it would be utterly scorned. So let me ask you a question, Beth.
Okay.
Based off of that scripture, what does Solomon mean when he says many waters cannot quench love?
Whew. Well, I think that love is like all consuming. Okay? Like I think about like when Jeff and I first kind of started liking each other, we were in college and I had trouble studying. I had trouble concentrating because like that's all I could think about. I was thinking about, gosh, when can I see him next? When are we going to be together? When are we going to do next? And what he's doing now? And I used to honestly like Ohio State's a big campus. It's a really big campus. But I used to like think like in my mind, where's he gonna be? How can I like conveniently bump into him?
A little stalkerish.
I know, creepy, right? And so like it really consumed my thoughts and a lot of my energy. And it made me think a little bit like when you say many waters cannot quench love, it gives to me this imagery of like a burning building, okay? And I don't know if you've ever been around anything that's burning like that before, but it's hot and it's intense. And a couple of years ago, actually, our neighbor just across the street from our house, their house burned down. And it was a complete loss. I mean, it burned down to the ground, everything, except, and this is actually pretty cool, they had a Bible in their house, and that was the one thing that did not burn amongst everything else. So I always thought that was pretty cool. But as we're all outside watching this house burn down to the ground, I thought many waters cannot quench it. Like it was hard for them to put out this house. They called the fire departments from Dalton, from Orville, from Tuslaw, from all around, and they're all trying to put this house out. At one point, they actually started spraying down the houses on either side because they thought there's no way we can contain this. Like it's going to get out of control. And so I think that's how love is and can be. Like it's all consuming and it's so intense.
I think that's a really good way to put it. And what's so cool about that is thinking that's how God loves us. And that's radical. That's powerful. But sometimes we don't allow ourselves to feel that love, which is a sad thing. I want to ask one more question for those of you watching. This is a fun question. How have you seen people try to buy love? Being at High Voltage, even, I've seen boys bring in bracelets and necklaces and ring pops.
Ice cream.
And ice cream. What are you trying to do? But I've seen people try to buy love, and it never works. Actually, this is an awesome story. When I was in high school, we went to CIY. Actually, we went to Hope, which is in Michigan. And instead of high-lows, we did a thing called rags and roses. So you gave a metaphorical rag to somebody who did something bad, like, I'm going to give a rag to James because he farted in the church van and all the windows were locked.
Been there.
Right? Mm-hmm. So have I. Or, you would give a rose to somebody who did something really good. Like, I'm going to give a rose to Tyler because he took everyone's dishes up after dinner. Okay? Well, there was this boy who was infatuated with a girl named Carly. Okay? And the boy was really good at origami. So it came time for rags and roses, and he was like, you know what? Making a move in front of 35 other students is probably the best option I've got.
Oh, it's bold, man.
So he folded a flower, and when it came to rags and roses, he said, okay, I want to give a rose. Well, not really a rose. I made this. And Carly, I want to give you this flower for being so amazing. But instead of rags and roses, this flower is a car lily.
Oh, no.
That's what every guy and girl on the trip did. We just kind of
What
hung
did
our
she
head.
do?
She was so embarrassed. Her face got so red. And she just grabbed the flower with 2 fingers and she's just, thanks.
Ouch.
Yeah. It was a bold move. It didn't pan out, but, he kind of tried to buy love at that moment. And it crashed and burned hard. But man, back to the verse. In Solomon's time, when he wrote this, a seal was placed on something to indicate who it belonged to. So think like the seals on a decree.
Okay.
So that was the cool thing. But in this passage, the 2 people are clearly in a loving, committed relationship, and the seal is placed over their heart, which indicates that they belong to one another. It's a beautiful imagery. And today, we still place a seal on each other, but we don't place it over the heart per se. But the seal that we place today is a wedding ring.
Ring.
You got one?
I got one.
Awesome. I don't. I'm working on it. Spoiler. But you've actually got something really cool on your wedding ring. Can you share?
I do, yeah. So, like, Corey and I were talking earlier about this passage, and he was quoting it, and I kind of finished it off because in my mind, it was still there after all these years. But when Jeff and I were getting married, or preparing to get married, we were thinking about how we wanted our marriage relationship to be. And if you don't know this, Jeff's parents were divorced since the time he was 7. So he grew up, having to split his time in different families. And some of you guys know what that's like. It's not always the easiest. And so that's something that really left an impression on him. And he said, when I get married, it's one shot, one and done. He felt so passionately about it that the night before our wedding, after we finished the rehearsal for the wedding, he pulled me aside and he said, I want you to know, he said, it'll break my heart, but if you have any doubts, please say so now. Because tomorrow, once we say I do, that's it. He goes, for me, that is it. And one of the ways that we decided to seal that was on our wedding rings here. And so when you have babies, your hands change. Ladies, I'll warn you now. Okay.
So be smart. If that's something you want to awaken in your house, just be patient.
Yeah. But on our wedding rings, we have 2 things inscribed on the inside. The first, I'm going to show this to you, Corey, is,
Whoops.
Yeah. The first is our wedding date, which says 9/4/99. That's when we got married. And the second says SS 8, 6, and 7. Now, we couldn't fit the whole verse on there. That's why it says SS, but it stands for Song of Solomon. And it's this verse that, place me like a seal over your heart, for love is as strong as death and unyielding to the grave. And that day when we put these on, we told each other that, you know what, this is it. And we're together until death separates us. And to me, it's even fascinating where it says that it's as strong as death and unyielding to the grave. And I've even seen this in my own life. My own father, he passed away when I was younger. And so I've seen even the way, like now, 25 years later, that it still affects my mom, that because that love is binding. Like she still has sadness over that, and she still has joys over the times that they shared together. And so love is strong. It is strong.
That's awesome. And when we center our relationships like you have, and our marriages on Christ, he strengthens us to love as he does. And Beth, you've obviously done that, and you know God, and you know love, and that's empowered you to love Jeff in an awesome way. And it's also, it's empowered you to love your kids and those around you, and it's what's made you an awesome wife, an incredible mom, and a stellar friend.
Oh, thanks, Corey.
Is the love in your life. And I'm thankful to be friends with you, not just because you give me ice cream. That's a big plus. But to be with somebody who expresses that love in their life so freely and joyfully and in a Christ-centered way is awesome. So I'm thankful for your friendship. And because of that, I would like to play Best Friend Challenge with you.
Best friend challenge.
Best Friend Challenge.
Woo! All right, do it.
All right, I'm going to get the OG Sketcher Memory Foam Best Friend box here.
Best friend box.
Best Friend box. Get my stuff here. Okay. All right.
Don't hurt the ice cream.
Oh, I was very careful.
Careful.
All right, I'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, I was thinking, okay, today we're talking about love, we're talking about relationships. So it got me thinking, which one of us, you or me, has had the most long-term relationships?
Define long term.
I know, okay. What would you think? A couple months?
At least 6?
Yeah, 6 months.
Okay. Oh, gosh.
So,
I got to count below the table.
okay. All right. Yeah, see, I feel like you can see me here. My kids always make fun of me when we play games because they can always see all the cards I have.
All right.
You ready?
You ready?
Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Oh!
How many long-term relationships for you?
2.5.
2.5.
No, okay, I should not admit this. This is a terrible thing to admit to young people. I had 2 for sure, but then there was this other person, and he wasn't allowed to date at all. Like, his parents were really into courtship, like, you don't date at all until you get married, and then, so we didn't date, but we kind of were undercover dating.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So don't do that. Love is truthful all the time.
All the
So
time.
it wasn't love. Definitely wasn't love.
Okay.
How many for you?
6.
I get around.
Okay, this one's about you.
Okay.
What was your major at college?
Oh, I think I messed this up. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can spell.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Hey, comment what you think Beth studied and did.
And I want to tell you, like, you'll have a lot of opportunities because I was on the 5-year plan at college, and it was because I went through, like, a ton of different majors. So
Okay.
this is the one that I finished with.
That you
It's
finished
on
with.
my degree.
Okay.
Okay?
You ready?
Do you know this?
Maybe?
Okay. All right.
3, 2, 1.
Oh, good job.
Thank you.
No,
You spelled it wrong, though.
I didn't.
Myco?
Oh, my gosh. Really tired today.
So tell them
To graduate.
it's on your degree. You don't have to spell it. You just got to be able to do it. Tell them what your first job was because it's awesome.
Oh, yeah. So my first job, I worked in research. Okay, and actually it's very fitting for today because it was in aerosol science. So like that means like the air, like the particles in the air, the things that we breathe in and out. And so I worked for a company that did a lot of contracts for the Department of Defense. So we created like these air sampling units that the military used, and they would use other places in different government office buildings, different things. That would pull air from the like ambient air that's just hanging around, and it would run it through this series of testing things, and it would test for like biological warfare agents, chemical warfare agents that could cause harm. So like,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow, she's a lot cooler than I am. Okay, you got some more?
Okay, I got another one, and I think I messed up the game, but
No,
just,
you're
just
fine.
go with me, okay?
Okay, I'm going.
Okay. So, which one? I know, like, nobody's allowed to travel right now to like other places, but before the days of coronavirus, which one of us, you or me, has been to more countries outside the United States?
Okay. Hey, comment what countries you've been to.
Oh, yeah, that'd be cool. I'd love to hear where people are from.
And yeah,
Well, not from, but where they've been.
what your favorite country you visited was too. That'd be
Okay.
cool. You ready?
That'd be cool.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
How many countries?
6.
Wow, I'm at 1.
Oh,
Mexico. Mexico's the
Yeah.
only one.
honey, you need to get out more.
I know, I do.
When this is all over, mission trip.
Okay, this is, speaking of traveling, I was really worried you're going to steal my question. Between the two of us, who has been to more U.S. states?
That was my other one. I almost picked.
That would have okay.
Do you have spiders on your chair?
No, okay.
Jumped.
Got excited. More U.S. states.
Okay. I don't know if I can come up with a number, but all right.
Ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. I've been to 47.
You probably got me then.
I've
Seriously?
not been to Florida, Hawaii, and Alaska.
You haven't been to Florida? It's like the one state everybody in Ohio at least goes to.
Yep. It's the one continental state I've not been to.
Oh, wow.
I know.
Okay. All right. All right.
You
This
got
one
one more?
came to me. Yeah, this one came to me at the last minute.
Okay.
I kind of find this a little interesting. All right. Between the two of us, which one of us is sporting their original hair color? Okay.
So my grandma changed her hair color all the time, and when she went to get her license, they said, "Man, which hair color?" And she went, L'Oreal.
That's the company that makes hair color, by
Yeah.
the way. Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1.
I don't know.
You
why-
natural?
Yeah, it's just I used to color my hair all the time, and I started having kids, and I just didn't have time, and then I just said heck with it. So now that I'm getting older, I'm like, do I just let it go?
Looks good.
Just let it go.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Back to
Let it
Frozen.
go. Okay, this
Jake
is
would
this
have a
is
fit.
the last one. He's glaring at you.
He hates that song. If it comes on, he loses his mind to the point where once he was throwing such a fit, I got so mad at him. I'm not even kidding. And I wasn't thinking about it. I didn't mean to. I said, Jake, will you let it go? And he just glared at me. And I was like, I didn't mean it like that.
Well, have you seen Frozen 2?
Oh, yeah.
My favorite part in that movie is where they're in the Hall of Memories, and they've got her singing "Let It Go," and she's like, "Oh," like even she knows.
Like we've had
Even
enough.
she knows.
We've
Yeah.
had enough.
Okay, this is the last one. This is based off of veterinary.
Okay.
Our first sponsor. What's my favorite animal?
Ooh.
And comment your favorite animal as well.
Okay. All right.
What's your favorite animal?
I don't know. It's terrible to say. I really like. Sorry, people. I really like cats. I know.
Okay, I'm allergic to them, so I've got a hate relationship with them.
Well, I tell you what, if you come over to our house, I can guarantee you the cats would make you their best friend.
They try.
Whoever's allergic. That's what they try
Mandy's
to do.
cat tries to do the same thing.
Yeah.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. Lion.
Polar bear.
Polar bear.
I thought maybe the lion, kind of got the mane going on,
I like.
Have you been to the Cincinnati Zoo?
Of course.
Okay, they've got great polar bears.
Yeah.
out there.
Love the Cincinnati Zoo.
Fantastic.
All right.
All right, that was fun.
That was a lot of fun. Let's dig back in. We've got just one more point. Bring it home.
Okay. All right, so we've been talking about some of these things, relationships, okay? And we talked about God is love, you can't buy your love. And now we want to talk a little bit about how do we show true love, okay? Luckily, in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 13, starting verse 4, we have an example of that, okay? And it says, love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, so it's not selfish. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. This is one of my favorite parts. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Okay?
Love those verses.
I just love those verses. And one of the things I was kind of thinking about a little bit is, I've been working with young women for a long time now, okay? And so, like on my social media feed, there's like things that come through, especially on my Instagram. And for a lot of years, I was having a lot of the girls, it was the hashtag relationship goals, okay?
Yep.
And every time, I swear, every time, it's like this girl and this guy just gazing longingly at each other, or they're like entwined like they're playing a game of Twister or something.
I think the only time I ever used that hashtag was when I got a box of donuts.
Okay, men and women, very different.
Totally different.
Totally different. But they were trying to buy your love, Anyway.
No, I bought the donuts for myself.
Of course.
Yep.
Okay. So relationship goals, okay? But when I think about true relationship goals, it's a relationship that has these kind of qualities in mind, okay? That love is patient, okay? It can be very difficult to be patient. And one of the things, it's not easily angered, okay? I see a lot of young relationships where it's like, he talked to that girl, and like they lose their mind, and it becomes this whole dramatic thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this is a good litmus test to see, like, okay, is my relationship really true love? Is it really loving, or is it not, okay? And so, like, we can see from these passages, I have a question, like, why do you think, it seems to me that it always has the other person's well-being in mind, okay? That love can't be selfish. So I'll ask you, like, what makes you think that love can't be selfish? What kind of qualities in here do you see? And when I think about my own relationship with Jeff, okay, like, he has been so patient with me. People may not realize this about me. They probably do. But I'm really loud, and sometimes things I'm thinking just pop out, or I get excited about something. And sometimes because I'm really passionate, I have a lot of highs and lows. Like, I can either be like, woohoo, life is great, or, oh my gosh, like, you don't want to be around me.
Right.
And he has always been super patient with that. He knows what to do to either calm me down or bring me up, and I've always really appreciated that. One of the other things I really appreciate about my husband is the way that he served me my whole life, but especially when I was pregnant, okay? So I'm going to tell you, when you're pregnant with twins, I had a set of twins. When you're pregnant with twins, you get fat. I'm talking like orca fat, like huge, okay? I wish I had a picture. I don't have any with me right now. It's before the days of like clouds and easily accessed photos. I know. Is it free? Is it coming free? So close. Yeah, eat up, man. Enjoy. But speaking of, I won't say it. Anyway, I was really big when I was pregnant. And I had trouble just taking care of my kids. And I'm telling you, he was so content to just make himself a peanut butter and jelly for dinner, or pick up the kids and take them to the Dairyette to get them something where I didn't have to cook. But one of the other things that he did for me was I loved to garden. So in the summer, I have this massive garden, and I love to can and freeze and put up all this stuff, so we've got like really good, fresh, healthy food all year. It's just my thing. I enjoy it. But I wasn't able to do that when I was pregnant. Like, it was enough that I could do just to take care of Jenna and Jacob. And so I have a vivid memory of him staying up till midnight one night. He had gone out to the garden, got everything, chopped it all up. He had worked all day long, stayed up till super late in the middle of the night canning salsa for me. And I was like, that wasn't important to him. Like, he could have gone and bought Chi-Chi's at the store. But he knew that was something important to me, and so he sacrificed that for me.
That's cool.
Yeah, I thought that for me that was a really cool thing. And so earlier, I was mentioned about how, like, you want to be the kind of person that will make a good spouse, okay?
Yeah.
So, like, I think about cultivating these in your own heart. One of the things I'll challenge you guys to do, this is my challenge to you, is to go through this and ask God to make you a more patient person. Ask God to make you a kinder person. Ask God to give you a heart that's full of grace and not jealousy.
Yeah.
because those are all qualities that are going to make an awesome relationship. And Corey, you're in the middle of a relationship right now. Like, you're in a pretty serious relationship.
I am.
And so I'm going to ask you, why do you think it's important to develop these qualities in yourself before entering into a long-term relationship?
Well, I'll start by saying, I've been in relationships with people where either myself or the other person was not patient, was not kind, was envious, did boast, was proud, was rude, did a lot of self-seeking. Basically, the antithesis of everything here. And as I look back on those relationships, in the moment, I was so in love with the idea of being loved that I didn't see how messed up my relationships were. But as soon as they ended, I could kind of analyze the relationship with a clear mind and clear heart and realize that for a long time, I was miserable. But I became used to the misery, which sounds sad.
That's
and
not what love's supposed
it is
to
sad,
be.
right? So I think it's so important to establish these in yourself first and foremost, because you're going to be able to know what to look for in others. If these elements aren't foreign to you, you're going to be able to see them displayed or not in somebody else. But also, we talked earlier about don't focus on finding the right person, but focus on being the right person. My parents, two things they always challenged me with is one, if you date someone and you end up breaking up with them, be the type of man that set the bar higher for their standards. So if it doesn't work out, my mom basically said ruin the rest of their relationships because they're going to be comparing the next guy to a man of God.
Nice.
And the second thing was my parents always challenged me to be the type of man that if I was the father of a young woman, I would be proud that my daughter chose that man. And I've got to be honest, in high school especially, and a little bit of college, I couldn't say that about myself. I would have, if I was a dad, I would have chased that young man off with a baseball bat. But as I've worked on myself and I've had an awesome relationship with God of, okay, God, I need these qualities in myself because I no girl that I want to attract is going to be attracted to me how I am. And it took real vulnerability with myself and with God to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And one of the things also talked about always hopes is one of the things I started doing was once I got out of college, I got a journal and I started praying and writing down my prayers for my future wife before I even knew her, before I was even in Orville, before I whatever. And it's my hope that when God does bless me and my relationship one day to get married, to give my future wife that journal on our wedding day. And to
What a gift.
Yeah.
Man.
And my mom said even from the first positive pregnancy test, she started praying for my future wife. Which is so cool to have that knowledge and that hope and that trust that God is the cornerstone and the foundation of our relationship, and always will be. So,
Well, and Scripture tells us that the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective.
yeah.
And, it's interesting that you bring that up because I had gone to a conference when I was probably about everybody's age around here. I think I was like around 8th grade or so. And they challenge you to start praying for your spouse. And I really took that to heart. And from that time until we got married, every night, I didn't know Jeff, we hadn't met yet, but I prayed for him. I prayed that God would give him wisdom. I prayed that God would protect him and protect the relationships that he was in and draw him close to him. And you want to hear something cool? So when we started dating, you know how you kind of tell each other your stories and everything. So the one night he started sharing with me his story. And when he was in high school, he really wasn't following the Lord at all. He got into some stuff that just wasn't healthy for him. And in college, we figured out the timing of it. It was about the same, because he's older than me, about the same time that I started praying was when God sent people in his life that really helped him to turn around his life.
Wow.
And kind of start his relationship anew with Christ and
That's
be
cool.
committed. So
That's really cool.
I would just encourage you, like, first of all, love is worth waiting for. The real thing is worth waiting for. And when you follow God and you hold true to his standards, like, it's going to bear fruit. And I'm going to tell you right now that, I've been married now for almost 21 years, and not every day is perfect. Some days it gets boring and mundane, but there has been no other relationship other than my relationship with Christ that has blessed me more than my marriage relationship.
That's awesome. That's so cool. And side note, I didn't talk about this in our practice, but my mom prayed for her husband before they met. And my mom was moving into college, into her dorm. And she set her boxes down and walked to the window to just kind of look out and see the view. And she saw my dad walking across campus. And my mom audibly went, "Oh, that's who I'm going to marry."
No way.
Didn't know his name, didn't know anything about him. And her roommate, who was already there, was a grade above her, went, "What did you just say?" And she was like, "Oh, I said that out loud." She said, "You see that guy, the guy with the mustache? I'm gonna marry him." And her roommate said, "Do you even know who that is?" She's like, "No, who is he?" And the roommate, this is a cool testament to my dad, said, "That's Kevin Whitsitt, and good luck. He's way too serious about the Lord to be looking for a relationship."
Wow.
So my mom said, "Well, that sealed it." So
That's the one I want.
so when you do pray for your future spouse, God's gonna lead you to the right person as well. So I want to wrap it up real fast. I've got just a couple of questions. The first is, how have you allowed the world to influence your perspective on love and relationships? Beth talked about who you follow on social media, the songs that you listen to, which are not the best representations of love. But how have you allowed the world to kind of influence you? And then the second is, how can you follow Jesus' example of love? We read earlier that whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. Mm-hmm. If you're not loving correctly, sadly, it might be because you don't know God. So let me challenge you first and foremost to pursue a relationship with God and experience his love, because that will prepare you to know what true love is. And please, please, please do not settle for less just because it's convenient. It's an option that you have. It's not worth it. It's going to lead to heartache and resentment and regret. So pursue after God and allow him to direct your paths. Lastly, we've got a memory verse. This is an awesome, awesome verse. This is Romans chapter 5, verse 8. It says, "But God showed his great love for us by sending Christ to die for us while we were still sinners." That's what it's all about. We've talked all morning about sacrificial love. You can't get much more sacrificial than laying down your life for another. It's a beautiful, beautiful image of what love is. So as you go into a relationship, or even if you are in a relationship, maybe especially if you're in a relationship, analyze it. Don't just grow comfortable with where you're at. Always be growing, and always be growing closer to God. Every night I pray with Mandy, Lord, strengthen us to become closer to each other, but especially come closer to you. That's my prayer, is no matter what, I want my relationship with others, but especially with a significant other, to glorify God and to be biblical and based on Scripture and his promises.
And that's a good test, by the way. If your relationship is drawing you away from Christ, maybe it's not real love.
Yeah.
Real love will draw you closer to God.
Absolutely. Okay, we've got a couple of announcements,
Announcements.
and then we will wrap this up. You got the first one.
Yeah. So there's services at 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock. You can come on in here in the building.
Yep.
Or you can check it out on YouTube. We have done both, and church has done a great job getting that set up. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Also, on Mondays, there's Interactive Monday School. So tune in. I think Pape will be back next week.
Should be.
All right. So yeah.
Yep. Next one, we've got Tuesday, Thursdays. We usually post some sort of poll, something fun. The last one we posted was who would survive longer in apocalypse, me or Pape? And people chose correctly. They chose me. But also on Wednesday, Fridays, we've got our 60-second shots of encouragement. Have absolutely love seeing the leaders do those. You've done one.
I love seeing the kids.
It was awesome. Love seeing the kids. Those are on Wednesdays, Fridays, 9:45 on our social media. Don't miss out on that.
Cool. All right. So we still have some things going on this summer yet. So the next thing that's coming up is August 9th, okay? So we have a picnic and prayer for our schools. If there was ever a time that we needed to pray for school, this is it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then August 12th, there's a 5K fun run, and it'll be a good time.
For High Voltage, we just got done with Mission Orville. It was cool to see the kids serving. You were here for that. Loved it. We've got a pool party coming up. Fingers crossed, things are looking a little different, so stay tuned for news on that. But we also have our fun run on August 12th, and there'll be more information on one of the slides coming up.
Yep. Okay, so yes, as Corey said, the pool party, like everything else in life right now, we're hoping it'll work out, but we'll see. It's a very fluid situation.
Yeah.
That was just for you, Corey.
Yeah, that was pretty deep. Don't want to be too shallow as we dive into that. Okay, let's go to the next one as we're splashing around. We've got our 5K and fun run coming up August 8th through the 15th. So here's the deal. I'm wearing the shirt, Casey's Challenge, 5K, 1 mile. This was last year. I decided the day before to start training.
Oh, mistake.
I should have just, at that point, just waited till the day of, because then I was sore, yeah. So this is August 8th through the 15th. If you want to run the Casey's Challenge, which we so desperately want you to do, because it's a great organization, proceeds go to an awesome cause, that is on August 8th, and you can sign up for that online. It's a virtual run now because of COVID, but please still sign up for it. It's an awesome thing.
And you don't have to run. You can walk, you can skip, you can jump.
Frolic.
Jump
rope.
What did we say earlier?
Crab walk. If somebody does a crab walk for an entire 5K, and we've got to have proof, I will take you to the Dairyette, get you whatever ice cream you want, take you next door to Wendy's, buy you a bigger work, whatever. That would be awesome.
That would rock. I want to see video.
Jake, are you going to do a crab walk? Okay, we'll talk after. But to be able to participate, download the Nike Run app. It's totally free. And when you run, start the app, and it'll track your distance. And then at the end, just screenshot it, send it to Pape and I. And there's going to be medals awarded for the top 3 in the middle school and the top 3 in the high school. So that's going to be a lot of fun as we run, walk, frolic, crab walk, whatever it is.
Sounds good.
Cool. Man, this was a fun lesson. It was a little bit longer, but it was needed. So this week, really want you to focus on a couple things. Love cannot be forced. Love never ends, and love is patient and kind, and it's so beautiful. Don't arouse or awaken things before it's ready. Take your time, slow your roll.
Things in their time are very beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
See ya.